being shot 1,000 miles an hour. Everybody is 10 feet tall.
Cutting in with Esposito, whipping on the side, and they score! Bobby Orr, short-handed goal to tie it up. What a Bobby Orr goal!
George Larocque and Ty Domi are going at one another. Larocque's hit him a couple of good left hooks.
There it is! Number 500 for Mark Messier. Got that feeling!
And now, in for Dibs, here's Ben Darnell.
Playoffs are set. We are ready for some hockey this weekend. Little slim in the local department. No Pennsylvania teams, no New York teams. Boston Bruins are out. But it's hockey, baby. You know that these playoffs are not going to disappoint. They never do. Give you the matchups here. Let's start with the West. We'll work our way to the East. Jets, Blues, Stars, Avalanche. That's a little 4-team pod for you out West. On the other side will be Golden Knights, Wild versus Kings versus Oilers. Sorry, I should do that different. Golden Knights versus Wild, Kings versus Oilers on that side. The Eastern Conference, starting at the top, Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Senators, Lightning taking on the Panthers in that little pod. And then the one I'm really interested, Capitals against the Canadiens, and the Hurricanes against the Devils. And we were talking earlier about the Stanley Cup this week because we were just talking. I think we got on it with J.D. Vance dropping the national championship trophy. And we kind of were wondering about other trophies that were damaged. We were talking about the parades, especially in Boston with the World Series trophy. And that beer that hit that flag that broke the World Series trophy brought us to Tom Brady throwing the Lombardi trophy boat to boat during the flotilla of the Tampa Bay celebration. And then our friend Mike from Glastonbury called us up and was like, man, you guys are big Pantera fans, and you don't know about the time Pantera damaged the Stanley Cup? I'm like, no, man, tell us about it. And then Mike kind of gave us some details to start a rabbit hole of our own and found an interview. This is from Livewire, one of my favorite places to go to learn about bands. And this is Vinnie Paul from Pantera talking about that night.
During a 1999 Stanley Cup party that you hosted for the Dallas Stars, the Stanley Cup itself was damaged when Guy Carbonneau, apologies, attempted to throw the cup from the roof of your house into your pool.
Balcony.
The balcony.
Yeah.
Okay.
The roof is about 50 feet high. That would never happen.
But
This is true.
damaged the Stanley Cup at a party. That's
man. I
awesome.
mean, me and Dom wrote the song to help propel the 1999 Dallas Stars to the Stanley Cup.
That's right.
My best buddy on the team, all of them became really good friends. Craig Ludwig called me from Buffalo and says, if we win this thing tonight, you better have your house ready to party. And I loaded up 4 or 5 cases of Crown Royal, everything, and then they came to my house.
The Crown.
And they brought the Stanley Cup, and we brought every strip dancer we could find in town, and it was the best party you've ever seen. At about 5 o'clock in the morning, we're all out in the pool, the hot tub. It's just a party. And here comes Guy Carbonneau, and he's got the cup, and he's like, hey, Luddy, catch the cup. And he throws it off the balcony, and it gets right about to there. It goes doink off the side of the pool and into the water. And we jumped on it and sank it to the bottom. And that thing floats really good because it's got a big thing on the bottom of it that holds it. And the cup keeper, the guy you see on the TV commercial, he's like, you cannot do that. That's the Stanley Cup. And we're like, we just f***ing did it, dude. So
That's awesome.
Who knew it floated?
I did.
And why would you want to try to sink it? Like after it's there, like why?
It's in the with it broken down. Just leave it in the pool.
Oh man, thank you to Mike from Glastonbury turning us on to that Livewire interview. Yes, the Dallas Stars. I don't know if it was 99 or 2000 that we're talking about here.
The 98-99 season.
Okay, and we listened to the song. The song is really that impressive. I mean, it sounds Pantera.
It's Pantera.
And then they just scream Dallas Stars like 4 or 5 times, and that's the song. But hey, man, it worked. What do you got?
Which led me to go back to that roster of that championship team,
Okay.
and you got some heavy hitters on this thing, man. You had Eddie Belfour in goals. That's pretty cool. You had Brett Hull on that team.
I knew that. I remember that. Brett Hull, man.
Brett Hull, I remember from that team. Who's the other that was the Mike Madonna was really the thrust of that team.
Didn't we have a Whaler on that squad?
We had the former Whaler Pat Verbeek.
Verbeek, right.
So Patty won a ring with those guys. You had Roman Turek,
awesome.
Daryl Sador,
Hell yeah.
Brian Skrudland, who was up in Boston for a good bunch of years, I believe. And yeah, some serious names though. That's a pretty damn good roster for the guys that won the Cup in '99.
I will remember that team from that story and that story only. Vinnie Paul, man, R.I.P. Pour one out for Pantera if you're a Dallas Stars fan for sure. NHL attendance is way up. They've set records all across the league for attendance, and I am not shocked and not surprised. Not only just because maybe we're in our hockey bubble around here in the Northeast and we watch a lot of it and we are a part of these crowds, but our resident puckhead Jenna, who is in the promo queen of iHeartRadio, she just went to the Rangers, and she spent all season trying to strategically find a affordable ticket. It is hard to find affordable tickets to some hockey games nowadays. Jeez, man, I remember the Hurricanes. It was like, please come, $2. We have to charge you something. Just get in the building. Now, that's the tough ticket to get, and especially playoff time. I mean, these barns are going to be slammed with people. They do have some smaller venues nowadays than what they were dealing with in the past. I mean, the Utah club, that's not the biggest.
Well,
place in the world.
That's not their end all.
Right.
This is a stopgap thing to get the franchise going.
Right. But some of these
they'll have their new facility in a couple of years.
Like I always rail on the Columbus Blue Jackets, where people ask me in Indiana if that's a real NHL team or not. But I've seen some games where that barn is continuing to progress as far as attendance goes. So good on the NHL.
And it's interesting because it's such a hard thing to grab onto. You don't have just natural, you don't have your kids just starting going, hey, you know what? I woke up this morning and I want to be a hockey player because it's so expensive.
I know. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
Well, there's been some videos I've just seen on my Instagram that some pro hockey players have gone to hockey sports stores and they pull out a stick that's like $600 and they're like, kids, I get 12 of these every game, and I want to just give them away because no kid I know growing up with would pay $600 for a stick, and it was one of the cheaper ones in the mix. Dude,
really?
It's unreal. And he's in Toronto, I think. The player I'm talking about, I think it may have been Austin Matthews, but
Because, the old Sherwood was the 50-30, it looked like the hockey version of the Louisville Slugger. No paint, no design. It's just a basic thing to be able to use. And they were really reasonable. And that's 35 years ago, I know.
That's the thing, man. And we're all kind of different demographics here in the studio. John being the youngest, you being the oldest, me, the porridge that Goldilocks chose. Let's say it that way. But every step of the way, for you and me, Kurt, it was a lot easier to get a pickup game going because of equipment that was available. And it's not like we were dealing with the best of the best, man. We found a baseball bat that didn't have a logo on it in the pawn shop, and gloves were shared. Borrowing people's gloves. That was not even a thing for us. It was so normal for us to share each other's.
And there was things like the hockey swap shop that used to exist in Enfield, Connecticut, and you'd go through maybe 2 pairs of skates a season because your feet are growing so much when you're that age. So you go back and you trade them in, and you just keep using, and that saved so many people so much money,
true.
And made a community out of it, too.
And just
you got a pair. I need a pair.
But it gives kids the exposure for the sport. The other thing I think of too is just pickup, and we were talking pickup basketball before the show even started. And just to be allowed as a 7-year-old to play without your parents' supervision with other 7-year-olds, or God forbid, some random stranger that is also playing basketball. Nowadays, I understand it. I get it. Parents don't want that action. They want to be there on the sideline, and I can only go. Can I go to the ballpark? Can I go pick up basketball? Well, I can't right now, so no. And that, I just feel like there's a lot more restrictions, obviously financial, and the other thing, just the way the world is, and how to
you can't trust
let your kids just go play outside. That's not a thing like when we were growing up. So I don't know, man. I think we were talking about the black athlete in college baseball, and Dibbs brings that up all the time. And Dibbs sees these kids getting 2-3 bats. The kid can't even hit with the first one. What's the point of getting 3 other bats? And the kid's got extra gloves, plays first base. 12 years old. I got to have a first baseman glove. No, you don't. But they think they do. And parents are spending like $2-3 grand a season on equipment, on travel fees, on just getting into leagues. Man, my parents are not spending more than $100 tops. With everything.
Like, because I think the fees used to be like $35, you know,
Right.
for 20 or 15 games or whatever. We don't get that many games.
And it's just paying the umpires or paying the refs or paying for ice time or the facility. Like these coaches, they're not getting a dime. They're just, a lot of them are doing it out of the kindness of their heart. Or even if you didn't have a coach, like you would have enough equipment for a Saturday with you and 3, 4, 5, 10 of your friends to just go out there and play. Nowadays, like it's got to be organized. It has to be set up by an adult for you to go out there and play.
Well, it needs an umbrella because why? Because you need the insurance on top of it. So you have to put teams together. You have to have whole systems in order to have that kind of coverage.
Hockey's tough, man. Hockey's tough just for, the venue, like to get ice time. And ponds, how long have the ponds been frozen around here these days? Do they freeze?
This is the first winter that I can remember seeing people out there for any time in quite some time.
That's good. Good to hear. We do have a hockey game in our backyard today. We have the Wolfpack taking on the Bridgeport Islanders. The Battle of Connecticut. Loser has to go back to Bridgeport.
And by loser, we don't care about goals. We care about penalty minutes.
That's Kurt. Kurt wants to see some carnage.
I want a goalie fight.
Yeah. Check. Okay.
And I want some suspensions.
Okay. Well, we do have, was it Adam Beckman? This is top of my head. He's the guy that threw the ref into the boards, right, for Bridgeport. So he's not there.
Right.
So somebody's going to have to take on the reins. So you're going to have to beat up
somebody else.
Right. Beckman can't do it tonight, boys. It's got to be somebody else out there. I'm looking for the beers and the dogs. How many beers and how many dogs am I going to drink? I mean, this is the last one of the year. I want goals. I'm not like Kurt. I do want some fights, but I want beers and I want dogs. How many beers is too many beers for the $2 beers? They're big beers, too. They're not your little Dixie cups, man. These things are monsters. These are like at least 16s. They could be 22s.
Also, I don't know if you guys know, all merchandise tonight is 30% off.
Whoa!
I didn't know that.
Look at that.
All items, including jerseys, too.
Are we giving away tattoos in the concourse like we did for emo night? And are those half off?
It doesn't say here.
I'll have to give you guys a quick report when I show up tonight. But yes, $2 beers, $2 dogs. I'm shooting for 4 apiece.
Excellent.
Is it harder for you for the dogs or harder for you for the brew dogs? Which dogs are harder to take on?
The hot dog after. Well, it depends because you start with the beer. You got to lead with the beer, and then it soaks and it feels like it expands. You feel almost buoyant.
I feel like I can do more beers tonight than I can do dogs. I think that on every night. I think dogs, I'm 4 tops, man.
If you could do 4?
Yeah. 4? No? I mean, the dog.
Not if I did 4 beers, because they still get full on the beer.
I think I'm gonna eclipse. I think I'm gonna. What was it? 4, 8. I think I'm gonna go for a $20 bill tonight.
All right,
$20 bill. I'll go 5 and 5. That's the goal for me tonight.
Sean Stiletto will also be in attendance tonight.
Oh, really?
He's signing autographs from 6 to 6:45 p.m. on the concourse behind Section 107. If you don't know who that is, that's Tommy DeVito's agent. Good looking dude.
We gotta
go. The Italian fit.
Go.
He's got the fedora. He's got the whole, Italian suit going on.
We gotta go, dude. Dude, we gotta go. We gotta get our picture.
You need a pick.
Oh yeah, I love this dude, man. This dude is more than just Tommy DeVito's agent. If I do recall,
if he's in town already, if it's that time, it's 5:15 now. So he's in town. He's listening, obviously. So you need to set up with Ben Darnell. He'll be over at the spot that you said, and you need to take a picture with Ben Darnell there, Mr. Stiletto.
I don't need your help for this, Kurt. I can make this happen. Do not worry. You think there's going to be a big lineup?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure they're lining up right now.
What was
5:15?
Was it the Rempe? I mean, This is no Rempy fisticuffs bobblehead we're talking about. This is
Not that kind of line, but there'll be a line.
This is a guy's agent that we're talking about
Right.
here.
Well, we also have the first 1,500 fans will receive a cowbell. So,
God,
I got a
Ashley,
fever!
Breaking news all over the place here, man. All right.
Only
excellent.
prescription is more cowbell.
So we've got beers and dogs in our future. We have got Tommy DeVito's manager in our future. And then we have got cowbell in our future. Man, this is going to be one hell of a hockey night. And you think we're going to watch the game? Yeah, we'll watch. Yeah,
because you got to be paying attention for that goalie fight.
Right, exactly. Awesome. All right, get it all over yourself tonight. The boys, the whole crew. What, you got something else? You got
No, I was going to give you a Wrigley update.
Oh, gosh. Is it good? Is it bad?
Cubs
good for you.
13, D-backs 11.
No way. What happened?
Danger.
Kelly hit another home run. He had a 3-run shot, second of the day.
I love that girl.
There's 13 runs in the 8th inning here.
I thought this game was over at 7-1, but it keeps on going. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So is Adam Giardino. We got to talk to our friend from the UConn Sports Network about all things Hook C, all things happening at stores. I'm going to school you in on what's going on this weekend as well for our baseball, for our softball teams over there on the campus of UConn. UConn Sports Network, Adam Giardino coming up next.